What is up, my friends? We are back and thank you for your patience. I think we figured out what the issue was with the previous stream. I think my Ethernet cable and the Wi Fi were battling with each other and they were dropping between the two of them. So, fingers crossed that this one goes a bit more to plan. And of course, we do really appreciate your understanding. Sorry about that one. You guys could apparently hear me earlier on. My screen was just completely frozen. It wouldn't even refresh. So, yeah, apologies on that one. But let's pretend we're back to start all over again. So look, as I was mentioning earlier on, your guess is as good as mine as the final delays and why we're still hanging around waiting for this potential nod. I'm hoping maybe because we've delayed a bit, we might get a bit of good news. But do keep me up to date as well if you'd be so kind in the live chat. Well, what's going on in the Nations League? I know it's gone into extra time there, 2-2 in the Nations League final. So do let me know what's going on with that one. Right, let's get stuck into it. Oh God, how did that get so big? Craig went for a cheeky broccoli. I think that's one thing, Keno, we can safely say that I won't be going for, my man. A cheeky lot of stuff, all right, but a cheeky broccoli, I don't think that's not me, my man. That's not me. But again, thank you. I probably needed the reset as well, to be honest with you. As I mentioned, it's been a bit of a nuts day, so yeah, I've been on the defensive a little bit today, so I apologise about that. Right, let's get stuck into some of the news then. I'm worried about Wirtz, said Zaid. You honestly, mate, you don't have to be. I get the frustration, and I'm as frustrated as everybody about waiting for this. He's on a plane stuff because it feels like this few last detail stuff's been dragged out for, I don't know, 10 days at this point. But I promise you, man, you don't need to be concerned about the deal. You can be frustrated about how long it's taken, absolutely. But there's nothing to worry about in the deal regard to the, it's just it's just a bit of a weird one on why it's taken this long, to be honest. Big smoke, Craig lad. Not just yet, Tanya. Not just yet. Not yet. I never partake while I'm working, so that'll be later on this evening. Is tomorrow the most confident you felt about a Here We Go? Honestly, Kyle, hand on heart, I would have said to you, I would have been almost sure we'd have gotten it today. And in fact, I would go further than that. I would have said it would happen today. But especially, after the Nations League game earlier on, he got through that one unscathed, and it just kind of made me think, all right, surely we're going to get the nod now. But, I don't know how many, how many last details there are worked out here. But promise you, whatever frustration you're feeling, I'm right there with you. What's the news about Kerkez? Wirtz is frustrating just to get it sorted out. I know it's hard to sort out a situation like this. Yeah, it's a frustrating time all around in that regard. With the Kerkez one, my man, I have no idea what the conversations are between Bournemouth and Liverpool on this. Again, he will be a Liverpool player, but some people are guessing that Bournemouth director of football is overplaying in a football tournament in America. I don't know on this one. I'm also as confused about why he's leaving the camp for personal reasons, but yeah, still no breakthrough. So, honest answer is I don't know on that Kerkez one. What's the latest in the negotiation between the two of them? If I was to say a list of things that were concerning me most at the minute, I would say two things probably concern me most, and neither of them the three deals that we're waiting on. Darwin Nunez situation, that is one that I'm a little bit concerned about, and also the centre-back situation. I'm trying to figure out exactly what the plan is there. Still hoping that we get some update on Canade and those positive discussions or discussions that have moved in the right direction. Hopefully we get a resolution on that one soon. Dragon Chief, I'm not sure how I pronounced that one, my man. I hope you're okay. Your show's become a daily routine for me since a few weeks. Thanks for your work. Greetings from Germany. I'm all right, man. It's been a tough day. People get frustrated, and I always understand that. But it's how they express that frustration that can be difficult at times. And I've no problem with anybody moaning, but some of the stuff that I've seen and read, and it's been a tough day. We got to be patient. I know it's a pain, but it's going to be worth it. Thank you, David, as well, for doing a great job part. It is. It's really frustrating because I want to celebrate with everyone as well. And I've said this 30, 40 times. I totally understand the PTSD from the other deals. I mean, I get it. If I wasn't in this industry and I was just sitting back, I would probably be feeling really nervous waiting for it as well. I just know that there's absolutely zero chance that this deal collapses, but it doesn't mean it's any less frustrating that we're still sitting here waiting for it. Schmunga said, any Victor Osimhen news? Yeah, but nothing that really concerns us. So there's been conflicting reports. Sky Sports posted yesterday that it was agreed that he was going to Al Ali. Or Al Hilal, excuse me, Al Hilal. They literally posted that on Sky Sports account. You can go and look for it yourself, that the deal was agreed to take him there. And then today, that collapsed. Fabrizio Romano said Victor Osimhen has rejected all of Al Hilal's proposal, despite agreement club with the club. Osimhen says no to the Saudi Pro League club, and Galatasaray will insist to sign him with the race now open again. So it looks like Galatasaray are going to be the one there. But the reason I brought up the other part was just to show you how these things can move that quickly. Like, everybody was expecting on Sky yesterday, very credible outlets, Sky and Sky Germany, saying that the deal was done. And it wasn't. Osimhen we're talking about, by the way, if anyone's joining us late. I'm going to ask actually a question on Darwin, because a couple of people are starting to say we're going to have him for another year. So I'm going to ask that question. Oh, I got so close to writing out a perfect sentence without mistake. Right, so, do you think Darwin is still here when the window closes? Yes or no? Let's look at, as I mentioned earlier on, maybe you were with us for the earlier stream, the odds on this one have Atletico Madrid as the most likely destination for him. But even at that, there are odds against. So it's 11-8 with the bookies that he goes to Atletico Madrid. Any Saudi Pro League club is nearly 2-1, meaning that the money's not going down. You know, this isn't an indication of exactly what's going to happen, but it's an indication of where the money is going down on these deals. And any Saudi Pro League club is nearly 2-1. Sunderland then next at 6-1. So that kind of gives you an indication of exactly how far off we are with all of this. Like, I've no idea what's the situation with Darwin. Absolutely none. But Victor Osimhen, it looks like, according to Romano, that Galatasaray are going to try to push to sign him. Eddie said, I think we're stuck with Darwin. Well, we're certainly seemingly running out of options for a sale, unless there's something that none of us know about. Now, again, I can't imagine a situation where he's at Liverpool next season. I think it's been made clear that Arne Slot doesn't trust in him. I know that there was some spurious report from a bit of a chancer on social media yesterday saying a meeting took place and he was told he's had one more year. I don't believe that to be the case at all. But I can't tell you where he's going to go or who's in from, because that I just don't know either. Why were you in Wexford Town? Me? Was I in Wexford Town? I was in KFC in Wexford the other day. Maybe that was the one. Because my son likes KFC and I live in Wexford. So, you know, it's not that unrealistic for me to be in Wexford Town when I live in the county of Wexford. Who's getting robbed? I don't know whose car alarm that was, to be honest, but it wasn't mine, so I'm alright. It wasn't mine anyway. Sunil said, Kerkez and Wirtz will happen. We need to realise we're early in the window. Imagine getting your main target sorted before pre-season, will be fine. But the thing is, Sunil, I agree with you, but there's still no reason why Wirtz isn't done. None. You know, even if we're talking about the add-ons now and how they're targeted, one phone call and these could be ironed out in 10 minutes. You know, we're at a point where the outline number is there, and it's going to be roughly 117 to 190 million pound, or about 140 million euro. So that's done. The details of this is what the hold-up is, the small little things. And I struggle to say small little things because it feels like everybody, Romano, Ornstein, Plettenberg, Joyce, everyone's been talking about small details, small details, small details. If they're so small, surely they'd work through them at this point. Oh, Robert, I'm right with you. I am Robert Tring. I'm here, bro, constantly refreshing my phone all day, ringing, messaging, waiting for to be told, yes, he's on a plane. But as of right now, no bid on a plane. Craig, was the new bid rejected? No. I think Paul Joyce was a little bit off on that. And the again, I don't know Paul Joyce personally, but the thought process there was that he was a little bit delayed from the other stuff because no new rejection of any bid. And again, only one account has ran with that I'm aware of. No, there's no rejection of another bid. We're at this point now where it is, here's the outline number. There's an agreement on that. It's down to what the situation is with the add-ons, how achievable they are, when they kick in. Is it a Balon d'Or win, a Champions League win, Champions League qualification, a Premier League title win? These small little details. But everybody's racing against the clock because everyone wants this sorted before Wednesday. Trust me, the player wants it sorted so he can jet back off on his holidays. Everybody wants to get the man on a plane over to do his medical in Liverpool, and then we can send him off on his holidays. But that's what we're waiting for. And I know it's frustrating, but trust me, however frustrated you are, I'm right there with you. The Nunez situation seems similar to Rasmus at United. A lot of the fans want him gone, but also probably have a soft spot for him at the same time. Look, Shane, I understand Liverpool fans having a soft spot for Darwin, absolutely. But what I don't understand is people thinking he'll suddenly turn it round after over 2 years being at the club and inconsistency all the way through. There's been great moments with Darwin. I mean, there absolutely has been, but there's also been an incredible amount of frustration, and it feels like at the minute, people are just hoping. And it's really difficult to push back on anybody that wants to believe in a player. But I think at this point, we're into the realms of delusion if we think it's going to work out because, he's had 2 different coaches, he's had different seasons, and nothing has changed the inconsistency. But he is an easy lad to like you've said. Puts in a shift and fans smile. The turning point for me came when he accused the club of not playing him over money. That was the part for me I couldn't come back from and can't come back from with regards to supporting him because I just think that was really low thing to come out and accuse the club of. Marissa said, thank you for always being here. Oh, look, it's a pleasure. And I apologise if there's times when I'm cranky. It's been a stressful day. But without your support, I wouldn't be able to be here. So I thank you all. I know there's always some people in the chat who are being a little bit snide, and I appreciate the moderators and all the great work that they do, keeping the chat as good as possible. But again, I understand frustrations of people. I just wish I could make it all better, I wish I could tell you emphatically he's on a plane right now, but I'm still waiting for that notification myself. Patrick, absolute gentleman, mate. Thank you. Appreciate you. Right, let's get into some more questions in the chat, and then we'll drop back in on the Nunez one. Wirtz was just spotted in the German doner kebab in Whitechapel in Liverpool. I don't know whether I'd be happy or upset about that, to be honest. Happy because he's in Liverpool. I know it's a joke, by the way. Or upset because he's having a kebab. Does he not know chicken shawarmas exist? Barry said, I feel like we've seen this movie. FSG end up saying we could not reach an agreement, get Cherky and Osimhen in before gone. There's no chance the deal falls apart, Barry. I'm telling you, my man, you can trust there's no chance this deal falls apart. Everybody wants it to be done. The Leverkusen side want it to be done because they know what the player wants. The player and his side and his father want it to be done. Liverpool want it to be done. But it still doesn't take away from the frustration that I know you're feeling, my friend. What's this one? Wirtz transfer being rejected or not? No, not rejected. Not at all. There's no need to worry about a rejection. We're past the idea of rejected transfer bids because we're at the number that everybody agrees on. It's just a matter of, as I've said, trying to get the add-ons to a point where Leverkusen think the add-ons are achievable. So the outline price seems to be there, but it's the add-ons and how they're achieved that they seem to be fussing over. But yeah, it still doesn't take away the frustration. Craig, I don't care if somebody offered a $5 for Nunez, just get him out. Look, I'm trying to be polite about Nunez because I know there's a lot of Nunez support still in the Liverpool community, and I don't want to offend anybody. I'm done with the kid. I am. Like I said, that accusation towards the club, that to me, I just don't think is acceptable. But that being said, I don't know what's going to happen. I fear we're going to end up Liverpool having to loan him out with an obligation / option to buy. because there's the World Cup side of it as well. Don't forget, Darwin's going to want to be playing next season regularly, and if Liverpool have made it clear to him that he's not going to be in their plans, then he'll have to sort out a move and a club, and of course the club will have to play a part in allowing that to happen as well. So, yeah. Is that the former referee, mate? Sorry, now my dog's deciding. Everyone's losing the plot. Is that the former referee, man? I didn't realise he'd passed away. That's sad to hear. So yeah, may you rest in peace, as you mentioned, my friend. Is this verse saga similar to the Bellingham one? I don't know much about what went wrong with Bellingham. No. The Bellingham situation, I've explained this on stage actually at a few of our live shows. Just think about Liverpool not wanting to pay somebody a particular amount of money, and it isn't the player. So that's where we were with that one. And on that, we never had the man's word that he 100% wanted Liverpool. We never had that guarantee when Madrid were in the mix. All indications are that he was open to a move. But no, this one, Wirtz has publicly let everybody know that he's coming to Liverpool. Even you've got the German national team players talking about it. You've got Mbappe talking about Wirtz and that as well. There's no chance the deal collapses. But again, like I reiterate, it doesn't take away from the frustration we're all feeling, waiting for the nod. Agent fees, not quite agent, mate, no. You're in the right ballpark, but it wasn't the agent. Sort of. I think if you have a little look on social media, you'll find the answer to it. Not another season for Nunez, please God. If he stays, we'll have a bigger problem next year getting rid of him. Yeah, I agree. But again, if there's no club coming forward with a bid, we'll have to play it by ear and see what happens. Like, I've been honest with you, I have no idea what's going on with the centre forward situation or the centre back situation. My only information throughout this window so far has been on 3 guaranteed incomings, which were Frimpong, Kerkez and Wirtz. And then we told you about a 4th one the media team were expecting. That could have either been the young goalkeeper, or it could be really getting his media stuff done. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my own words. Craig, maybe it's the Adidas deal we're waiting to announce with their kit. No, that would be August the 1st, mate. There's no way anybody's holding off till August the 1st, because that means Wirtz would have had no pre-season with Liverpool, and Liverpool can't release the Adidas deal till August the 1st because our deal with Nike only runs out in the end of July, which is unusual. Usually deals run out at the end of June. Where are we at here? Any concerns? The striker pool is drying up. It's so hard to know with all the rumours and fake news. Do you think we could get Isak or Alvarez? So I definitely don't think we're going to get Alvarez based off what's coming out of Atletico Madrid and how strongly they're being about keeping him. Isak, I don't know anything on, but there certainly are people who feel like that avenue hasn't closed off. And I think there were some people, I think somebody said Anfield Watch yesterday or something, posted about the fact that Alvarez may still be possible. I really don't know, and I'd love either one to be possible, but you're right about the striker pool drying up a bit. Even Gyökeres looks like maybe Saudi might make a bid for him now. United were hoping that they could have a run at him. There's some talk today that with Victor Osimhen being rejectful of the offer coming in, that maybe they'll turn to Gyökeres. I really don't know. I haven't got a clue, but I'm worried that we end up with Darwin as well. Liam said, Isak could happen. Newcastle like Ekitike. Yeah, but they won't pony up that dough, I don't think. I don't think I can see Newcastle spending €100 million on Ekitike, even if they did bring in a sizable amount. I see Osimhen. I think he could be a bargain. It's not going to happen. I think at this point, the smart money there would be on him going to Galatasaray, who seemingly want to make the deal permanent. But yeah, I would expect if Liverpool wanted Osimhen, you would have thought that when Saudi made the play, they'd reacted to it. So that's one way that I've kind of looked at that situation. But like the striker position, I'm like everybody else. I'm just trying to read between the lines and figure it out, but haven't got a clue, mate. Somebody in the chat now could say to me, Craig, 100% we're going to sign I don't know, pick a name. And they could be right, and I wouldn't be able to say I know that they're right. So, am I a Radiohead fan? I'm not, Joseph, mate. No, I'm not. Mo Keelty said, don't think Wirtz is happening. It is 100% happening, Mo. I understand the frustration. I get it. I'm as annoyed as you are that it's taken this long. But it is going to happen, mate. You've nothing to be concerned about with the deal falling apart. Would have liked to see Slot use Nunez as a left winger. No, not for me. Not over the two boys who've been there this season. Look, as I said, I find this really difficult because I hate to argue with my fellow Liverpool fans over a player that they want to do well. Like, I don't want to say to anybody, no, you shouldn't want this player to do well. I just think we're getting into the realms of delusion at this point if we think he can turn it around after 2.5 years of not being able to do it and two different coaches. If there wasn't a different coach, if Arne hadn't come in, then maybe I would have been thinking, all right, maybe this is a Jurgen thing. But Arne's come in as well, and he still hasn't improved, really. Right, let's check on the poll. So we asked, do you think Darwin is still here when the window closes? And still time to vote on this. We'll let it get to 2,000, then we'll call it. There's about 1,820 votes so far. Would you take Evan Ferguson to try and reinvigorate him? No, I think we can take chances. And the reason I would say no on Evan Ferguson is what concerns me most about Evan is the injuries that he's picked up throughout his career so far. He's had quite a few little niggly knocks and strains. And I really did think this was going to be a season that he'd kick on. And even when he had that loan move to West Ham, didn't really become prolific. So I would say if you're taking a punt on somebody from Brighton, probably João Pedro would be the sensible option. We need to strengthen in more than 3 positions. Absolutely. We need, I think 5 would be where I'm at, Corbin. Right back, left back, centre back, striker, and then a creative player. So again, the 2 we're thinking, that aren't sorted yet, centre back and striker. We need those 5, in my opinion, to be ready for next season. I don't know if people in the chat would agree or not, but that's where my head's at. 5 signings, and then a couple of sales and a few fringe sales. What's with Wirtz? I can't tell you the hold up on the final details. I can't tell you. I thought I would be sitting here right now telling you he's on a plane, especially after he got through that Germany game earlier on unscathed. Your guess is as good as mine as to what the final sticking points that are stopping this getting done are. Yeah. But trust me, you've nothing to be concerned about on the deal falling apart. This isn't going to be another Zubimendi or Caicedo. But that doesn't stop you feeling anxious because of what's happened before. I totally understand that. Craig, on behalf of everyone, I really want to thank you for coming on and updating us with all your insight. As a fellow Irishman, you're a credit. Thank you, bro. It's been a tough day. I've had lots of great days lately. And, the tougher ones are few and far between. But I won't lie, when the abuse towards me starts, some days it impacts me more than others. Some days I can brush it off, but there was a few particular comments today, not on this platform, to be fair, that were really hurtful for my family to look at. And yeah, that wasn't great. But appreciate you, my man. I really do, Patrick. Thank you. Will these final details be sorted before the deadline? The plan is, yeah, but again, yeah, the plan is that he's 2 days to get the medical done and the media duties done, and then he's to go off on holidays, because he's got his he was on holidays in Corsica, I think it was. Then he met up with the German international camp, and the expectation from everybody was that by the time he was finished with the 2 games for Germany, that he'd be on a plane straight after that. And he may well still be. I wouldn't be surprised, as I've mentioned, if between now and 9 in the morning, you get told he's on a plane. But right now, I can't tell you that for a fact because I don't know it to be the case. But again, I can tell you you've nothing to worry about with the deal falling apart. Andy, how are we, bro? Said, Craig, if Diaz goes, who do you want to replace him? Not many left wingers out there right now. I would love Nico Williams. My thoughts have been that Anthony Gordon's probably the most likely. I know that's a divisive statement to make because a lot of people don't think he's good enough. I totally understand and appreciate that. Nico Williams would be incredible. I was watching him again there for Spain tonight, and he He has that danger factor when he picks up the ball. And I'd love us to bring in some more pace to the team, whether that's in a wide position or maybe the fullbacks can help us with that because, again, Frimpong, no slouch, Kerkez, no slouch. But yeah, for me, I think Anthony Gordon would be likely. But if I could go out into the world and pick one, I would probably go and take Nico Williams, especially knowing the release clause is there. Are the Liverpool Echo a valuable source? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It depends on the subject. So when it comes to football finance, Dave Powell, the guy on there that does that, he's very well versed and he knows what he's talking about. When it comes to the likes of Gorst and Doyle, sometimes really good, but sometimes too protective of the owners. But ultimately, I would say they've fallen off a bit since James Pearce left. That would be my honest take on it. Ignore the abuse, mate. You're a top man. Hope the family okay. Seeing Sesko going Arsenal according to Sky Sports. Again, I wouldn't be hanging my hat on Sky Sports as a source, and I'm going to give you an example of it right now. So Connor sent me this earlier on, and this was on Sky Sports Football yesterday. You can search for yourself and see if it's still there. It said Victor Osimhen has now accepted Al Hilal's contract offer, according to Sky in Italy. So Sky went round with that, and then today Fabrizio Romano and others have said, no, he's rejected Al Hilal. So again, I wouldn't be... it's transfer time, and everybody, I'm sure, will always try to act in good faith when you're talking about major publications. But football stuff can change like that. We've seen it time and time again. So I don't know what's going on with Victor Osimhen and that deal to... is it Al Hilal? I thought there was an agreement on like 500 and something grand a week, but that seems to have fallen apart as well. Amba said Wirtz deal will be off. It's so obvious. How can anybody can't see this yet? Because it's not off. That's why. I don't know what else to say to you, mate. The deal isn't going to be off. And not one human being in the media has in any way even indicated an issue with the deal. Every single journalist that has written about the deal talks about the fact that it is absolutely going to happen. The player wants it. Liverpool want it. So, again, trying to scaremonger people in the deal going to collapse is just that, scaremongering. And I don't appreciate it to my fellow Liverpool fans. What about Villa's Morgan Rogers on the left wing, homegrown talent? We were linked with him a while back, but I would say when Wirtz has been brought in, the idea of him is probably out the window. But we do need to keep a look at the homegrown quota. That is a really valid point. If you look at some players who may leave in this window, Queeveen's gone. That's a homegrown player. But we've brought in Frimpong. He falls in the homegrown category because he spent the 9 years at Manchester City's academy. If you lost Harvey Elliott and Jarell Kwanzaa, well, you're going to need some replacements there. Although, I'm not sure if Elliott and Kwanzaa had gotten to the homegrown part yet, or they were still classed as developmental players. So don't quote me on that one. But I do know that we had one spot that we were short of in homegrown last season, if my memory's right. So if you want to have a full complement of 25-man Premier League squad, you can have a maximum of 17 overseas or non-homegrown players. And then you have to have 8 homegrown players. And then you, or maybe it's 18 and 7. Sorry, it's one of those two numbers. And then you can add in some underage players as well. Robert Thring said, Gordon is perfect for homegrown. I know, and that's why I think we will revisit that situation. I don't have any private information on it, but it just feels like that's the one we'll revisit if we do lose a left winger. Any chance the medical could be taking place in Germany now? I would still imagine a leak if that was the case. You know, I would absolutely believe that Romano or somebody would know that a medical was taking place. I've been trying to find out, as I mentioned, but I've had no joy. So for me, source of frustration, Mav, like everybody else, just waiting. Gaming with Tubi said, Craig, do you like Omar Marmoush from City? Yeah, bid didn't get rejected. Vivian Maro, that's false again. Yeah, so Bill didn't get rejected, mate. That was, I think Paul Joyce was the only one who posted that today. And again, my understanding is that he was a little bit behind on stuff. But again, let's just wait and see what happens with it. But I will be right. He will be a Liverpool player and we will all breathe easier. But for now, I know it's frustration. Do I like Omar Marmoush gaming with Subi said? Yes, I think he's a brilliant player. And I would have loved Liverpool to have signed him. I was a little bit surprised that Manchester City are paying him £300,000 a week, to be honest with you. I think that's probably more than I would have been comfortable with him earning at Liverpool coming in. But Omar Marmoush, in my opinion, is a cracking player. And yeah, I really would have liked him at Liverpool. Seamus McKenzie said, facts are no deal has been agreed yet. Are they? Okay, well, you're wrong. Facts are that deal has been agreed, mate. But again, you can say what you like, mate. You're free to have your own opinion. The deal is agreed. The only thing that's been worked out is the details of how the additions are being paid out. That's it. But the number is agreed, and that is 100% certain. But again, you don't have to agree with me or not. But coming in stating something, coming in stating something to be a fact when it isn't, I will have to call out. When do you think we'll get a here we go from Romano? Honestly, I thought we'd have had it this evening. I really do. If not, maybe early in the morning, because he's waiting to get on a plane to come and have his medical. That's where we're at with it. So, yeah, he's finished now with the German national team, obviously, for this round of international games. So, yeah, he doesn't have... yeah. Craig, sorry, mate. You actually know nothing more than anybody else. Cool. And you know that how? You know what about me and who I know? Genuinely. Dan, I know you're trying to be polite about it, but I promise you, I know what I know, and I'm happy with what I know, and I know that the people telling me what I know are in the mix. This is why I don't really do transfer stuff on here with regard to the ITK side of it, because it's a no-win situation. When you're right, nobody cares. When things are delayed or you're a little bit wrong on something, everybody piles on you. But I promise you, I know what I know, and I told people a long time. Just look at my track record in this window so far about what I've said I know. I can show you 10 things I told you I didn't know anything about, but I told you the medical team, or excuse me, the media team were expecting 4 unveilings to be done, and we didn't know who the 4th was. Shock horror, then the 4th becomes that goalkeeper. I told you that the fee was going to be closer to a higher number than the lower number that was mentioned the other day. That's been the case. I told you that Liverpool were going to sign Frimpong, Wirtz and Kerkez, and that's going to be the case. So I'm comfortable with what I know and what I've said. But again, I get it. Everybody wants to be a critic. No problem. The reason I hadn't banned any of them is because none of them were abusive, to be fair, and everybody's entitled to an opinion. I only removed the abusive stuff. Right, where are we at? JG94 said, I think it'll be early tomorrow morning. Yeah, well, that means I won't see you in the morning. I don't see mornings, to be honest with you, bro. Jack said, Craig, does this news of Osimhen Diamonde being linked worry you about Canade? I would hope that it's the other way. I would hope that the Diamonde link is because we need to bring in a centre back. So if I could play a hypothetical game with you for a second, if we knew Canade was going to sign a new deal, you'd see Kwanzaa being sold. And if Kwanzaa was being sold and this link was still there, I'd feel like, okay, maybe Liverpool have looked at Diamonde and thought, he's the upgrade we need at centre-back. But truth is, with the Canade situation up in the air, I really don't know what to expect in the centre-back situation. Right now, as we sit here with the centre-backs that are currently at the football club, I would still argue that we need one more. Like, look at the season we've just had. Gomez was unfortunately unavailable for some of it. If Canade or Virgil had a big injury that kept him out for a couple of months, I don't know if we'd still have won the league, because I don't personally trust that Kwanzaa would have been a good enough deputy to come in. I would have had far more trust in Gomez, but of course he was out for the latter part of the season. So yeah, I think we're still a centre-back short, and that's before we add any more in. That's my take on it. If you look back at last season, I still feel we're one quality centre-back away from where we should be. CF87 said agree, cash in on Kwanzaa. Well, actually, do you know what? Let's ask that question in the chat. So, thank you to everyone that voted in this one. We said, do you think Darwin will still be here when the window closes? And 59% of people said no, they don't think that Darwin will still be here, and the others think that he will. So, let's ask that about Jarell. So, let me just ask this one. Seconds. Oh, fat fingers again. If you guys could see how pathetic my typing was. So, now we're going to go with Kwanzaa. Do you think Kwanzaa will still be here next season? I'd be interested to know what you think on this one. The situation that worries me the most at centre-back is 100% Kanade. I'd love to hear the news that we've agreed a contract extension with him. Oh, yeah, that's a great idea, Big Virgil. Remind me of that in, like, give me about 15, 20 minutes till we go through this other poll, but that's a great show. Can we stick up a poll on who you'd like as the new vice-captain? Great idea, mate. Just give me a couple of minutes and give me a nudge if I forget about it, but absolutely we'll make that happen. It's a great show. Are we in penalties in the other one? Let me know who wins the Nations League, will you? Because it looks like apparently they're into penalties. Luke, how are you, mate? Luke James said, do you think we still need a CDM, Craig? We have Grafenberg, Endo and Stefan. That's more than enough cover, in my opinion. What do you think? I agree. If Stefan's going to stick around, mate, I'm calm on that one because I personally rate Stefan by Cecic, but you know, we still need to hear from the manager. He'll be having a look at him pre-season, and I'm sure if Arne is happy enough with him, yeah. I don't think we need to dip our toes into the market if the manager believes in Stefan. If he doesn't, then yeah, maybe we do, because Endo is good to come in as the closer, as we call him now, but yeah, I think one more if he doesn't trust Bajcetic, but I think he does. So I'm going to say Bajcetic stays. That's my hope, because I'm a big Stefan fan. What's the highest British transfer record? It's £115 million, and Aaron, which is the Moise Caicedo deal for Brighton to Chelsea. That is the record as things stand. If the €140 million figure comes to fruition, then that would eclipse the British transfer record, and it would be, I think, about £119 million. Again, on my latest check of the currency conversion anyway. Loizos Luzu said, Craig, you've been spot on so far, mate. Just look at the reports coming out. Even he who cannot be named couldn't argue with it. Look, for me, I will openly tell you, I am not somebody who will have information on every transfer deal. Absolutely not. I don't claim to be that guy. But I was absolutely given bona fide guarantees on those three players. So I came on and ran with it. But if you look at it, I don't really play the ITK thing because it's a hiding to nothing a lot of the time, you know? Even if you're a top journalist like Romano, who has brilliant sources, ones that the rest of us could only dream of, you don't get everything right. So we try to stay away from it, but on this, absolutely 100% confirmed the three lads will be coming in. It's just when... we all know we chose Maka, but same issues for me with Wirtz or another huge name, Madrid in a couple of years. Look, I can't sit here, mate, and say to you, I know for a fact that Florian Wirtz isn't going to end up at Madrid in the future. Haven't got a clue. But what I can say to you is, at this point in his career where he needs to make the next step, I really do respect the fact that he's coming out of his comfort zone. It would have been really easy for Florian Wirtz to just gone to Bayern Munich. Guaranteed to be winning trophies, guaranteed to be competing in the Champions League, guaranteed to be, you know, idolised still in Germany and certainly by the Bayern fans. So it was a really bold decision and a brave one for his career for him to look and go, you know what? The best football project that I've been spoken to about is the project at Liverpool and Arne Slot. That takes courage, and that's why I keep saying these are the type of players I want at the club. Ones that don't look at Liverpool and feel daunted by it or feel that I'm unsure. They back themselves, and he is one of those players that seems to have that mental resilience and believes, yeah, I'm coming in there and I'm excited by it, not daunted by it. I give that huge credit. Thank you, Craig, mate. You and broccoli a boss night. Oh, don't be saying broccoli to me again, mate. I did promise, by the way. I don't know if you guys were here or remember this the other day, but somebody jokingly talked to me about broccoli again, and I said if we win the Champions League next season, I'll eat 3 pieces of broccoli. And as soon as I said it and got off the stream, I said to myself, God, watch that happen now, that you have to eat 3 pieces of broccoli. But I tell you what, gladly do it for another big ears. 3-3, thank you everyone on the penalty shootout. Really appreciate the updates on it. With only a day and 20 hours left in this window, it's difficult to see both transfers completed in time. Oh, they won't be both completed in time. And the window's only closed for 6 days then, mate, and then it opens again. So, again, I wouldn't be expecting the Kerkez one to be over the line by Wednesday. But, I'd love if it was. But, again, it's only a 6-day period then the window closes before it reopens again. So, you don't have to feel like we're rushing against the window and that we have plenty of time. And you can still have the players sign the contracts and everything. You just then can't register them again till the window reopens a few days later. Oh, that's so lovely, Tony. Thank you. Tony Hausman said, been tuning into you for the last 4 days now, loving the content. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Tony, mate. Thank you for your support. By the way, can I ask you a quick question on the left back situation? Taking aside our Liverpool biases and talking about Kerkez and whatnot, is Nuno Mendes one of the best, if not the best, left back now at the moment, on form in the world? I struggle to think of a better one at the minute off the top of my head. He has been incredible for Paris Saint-Germain and, again, doing really well with Portugal. He is a damn good player, isn't he? I have to say, before we played PSG, I wasn't 100% certain on him because I didn't watch that much of him. But when we played against him over 2 legs, fuck me, he's the real deal. He's a really good player. Both PSG fullbacks are class, said Andy. Mendes is class, said Tanya. Mendes is best, said Luke Belton. Any news on Jota leaving, said Mr. Grant B2. Nothing that I've heard, mate. No. And Arna really seems to like him, so... Oh, Spain have missed a penalty. Who missed it? Morata, was it? Portugal won 5-4. Wow. Morata, of course it was Morata. Of course it was Morata. That's, congratulations to Portugal. Wow. Did not think that was going to happen. I would have been sure Spain were going to... I thought Spain would actually rinse them, to be honest with you, in that Nations League final. So yeah, well done Portugal. Congratulations to them. Alex, that's so kind of you, mate. Thank you. I hope you're enjoying your holiday, by the way. You said on holidays and your videos are my go-to before bed. Well, I hope you're having a great holiday, my man, and enjoy, and thank you for your support. New tattoo? No new tattoo, mate. Do you know what? You say what you want about Ronaldo, and I certainly have plenty to say about him as a human being, but the man's a winner. The man just feckin' wins. Unless he's in Saudi, by the way, which he's not won a league title there yet. But even at, what is he now, 70? And he's still scoring in... I think he scored in the quarter-final, semi-final and final now of the Nations League for Portugal. He's always there. He's always there, and he always shows up. So, give the man his credit on that. I know he went off, I think he went off just before the end of normal time, if my memory's right. Maybe a few minutes to go in normal time. He had a cramp and he went off. The Spain boss got it horribly wrong tonight, said Paul Driscoll. If Diaz leaves, do you think we need another left side forward? Oh yeah, Mark, 100%, mate. Even if we were allowing the fact that we could maybe utilise Wirtz left side occasionally, for me, if you lose Diaz, you bring in another one. Definitely for me. I don't want us handicapping ourselves going into next season with a smaller contingent of left-sided players than we already had. This season, I think we've had 2 good options on the left. Cody Gakpo, Luis Diaz, I like what they both do. I don't think either of them are fully the complete left side winger, but certainly between them, I think we've got most bases covered. I'd like a bit more pace though. Uh, Wait, that was a final. Yeah, no, that was a final. It was a Nations League final, mate. Um, yeah, so congratulations, support. Is that Portugal's second time winning it, by the way, or have I got that wrong? Didn't they? Did they win the first Nations League? I don't really pay that much attention to international football. Craig, do you think 2-1 is a fair price for us to retain the Premier League? Um, it's not generous anyway because it's difficult to predict a league winner. I wouldn't be putting my money down at 2-1 anyway. I wouldn't say that there's value in that from a betting perspective. But if you mean, is it good that we're you know that short as a confidence thing? Then yeah, it's pretty good. But I wouldn't be putting money on it at those odds. It just doesn't seem worth waiting 38 games to cash in on a 2-1 personally. Has he done his medical yet? Not that I'm aware of. Technician, no. No, he hasn't done his medical yet, mate. As I mentioned, no. No, again, unless there's a secretive medical taking place in Portugal Germany that we don't know about, fair enough. Craig, I don't know why rival fans are so worried about us signing Wirtz. They're saying he's going to flop. I know. It's copium of the highest order. And I don't mind when opposition fans say it because I expect it from opposition fans. But some of our own fans have been questioning the rationale behind this Wirtz deal based on 2 games for Germany or something. And I don't get that. Like some of our own fans saying we should have gone Cherky over Wirtz. Not a hope. Cherky's a good footballer, and I'm not saying that he will go to Man City and do poorly or anything, but you're talking different calibers completely. And what we need and the way Arna wants to play, Wirtz is perfect. Oh, I like this one from Elmir. I like this one, mate. Zubamendi getting the fields for finishing second. Is that deal going to happen though? It seems to be a little bit jittery. Real Madrid maybe looking in, but then they've agreed that deal for Mastantuano, the guy from River Plate. Romano gave that one the here we go earlier on, saying that he will come in later in the summer, I think, to Real Madrid. But that's a big get for them because he's hot property over in South America. Scored in the Super Classico, scored a good free kick as well for River Plate against Boca. Jota at LFC by the start of the new season. I think he will be, Itachi. My own gut feeling is I think he will be. Jack said, Šeško to flop at Arsenal, Craig, what do you think? I think he's a good player. No, I think he does well. It depends what you call a flop. I think he does well. And I would take him at Liverpool. I'm not like some of these other salty opposition fans. I will say if I think someone's good or not, even if they're not coming to our club. And I do rate Šeško. I think he's got a high ceiling. And I think Arsenal is a good club for him to go to with the way that they play. So yeah, I don't think he'll flop personally. Right, this poll is close. Oh lads, this one's close. We asked, do you think Kwanzaa will still be here to start the next season? And there's only the 1% in it at the minute, so do keep voting on it. And then I promised somebody I'd do the vice captaincy poll, which I will. But let's see if we can get this one up towards the 2,000 mark, and then we'll do the vice captain poll like I promised. Thoughts on us being linked to Dominic Calvert-Lewin? I've not seen any links to us and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and I would actually probably come on here and cry if we signed Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Yeah, there's no chance in hell we're signing Dominic Calvert-Lewin. If we're going to do business with Everton for anybody, let it be Jared Branthwaite. Stephen Iron said, Craig, I think Wirtz will be on a plane at midnight, like Fede. I hope so, man, I hope so. What about John Duran? Not heard anything new on that one, mate. Not heard anything new on John Duran. There was somebody in our chat last week that said friends of theirs that live in Saudi or work in Saudi were talking about the possibility of it. It would excite me, to be honest. It would. But, you know, with the money he's on over there and the fee they paid from, I can't see that happening that quickly. But I would have loved to hear news of something like Liverpool about to swap and send Darwin Nunez in the other direction. That would have been brilliant. Nothing on Retegui or the guy from Atalanta either, mate. No. I've never seen any real links to him and Liverpool. It's just been Liverpool fans in the chat just suggesting him more than anything. Right, so I'm just looking at the time here. I want to make sure I get this other poll in for you. So if you can, folks, do keep voting on this one for me. Do you think Jarell Quansah will still be here at the start of next season? What was the Kerkez delay? I don't know what's causing the delay, mate. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out as well. But there is a delay. Excuse me, got a hiccup there. There is a delay. I just don't know what it is. You know, he left the Hungarian national team camp for personal reasons. And I would have assumed that those personal reasons were to get a deal done with Liverpool, but I don't know of an agreement between the clubs yet on a fee. Colteen said, I feel like Robbo deserves vice captaincy. I think, yeah, you could talk about a lot of our senior players and that. And Robbo would be right up there, definitely. The only thing is with Andy Robertson, he's just got 1 year left currently on the Liverpool contract. There's talk of Johnny Heidinger perhaps coming in to raid Liverpool for a player. But you weren't expecting me to say that. So obviously he's the new Ajax head coach, and apparently he's going to try and come back in to sign Jaros. So Heidinger could offer Jaros first team football at Ajax. This piece here said from Voetbal International in the Netherlands. So keep an eye on that situation. Obviously Liverpool brought in Pecci, the young goalkeeper, and this piece here suggested that we may see Jaros go over to Ajax. Right. So our new goalkeeper has been speaking after his move from Puskás Akademika for 1.5 million. He said, it was obviously a very good feeling, even when I first heard about the possible interest or that they were watching me. And then things developed and it started to become clear that it could be something more serious. I was rather shocked, and it occurred to me that I've been working for this for years. This is where I see the long-term project and that they outlined for me. It's hard to say this in one sentence because so many matches are analysed in so many different ways. Liverpool have data on almost everything, which they outlined during the meetings. It was quite astonishing how much attention they paid to every detail. Of course, it gives me a lot of motivation that a club like this, with a data team like this, decided on my name and that they want to develop me. That's definitely my goal, and I want to show them that they chose the right person for the job. So yeah, again, however much we think Liverpool analyse a player before they bring him in, apparently they analyse them even more than we think. Right, let's end the poll so we can get the other one up. It's so close though. I mean, I'd love to hang on another minute or two and get it towards 2,000 because it's 49.51 at the minute, the poll. Do you think Quansah will still be here next season? And it's so close that I feel like we can let it run a bit longer. Michael, we are absolutely going to do a poll on the vice captaincy, sir. I'm just being a bit greedy, trying to get this one to 2,000. Didinho, how are we, dude? I hope you're well. Said that Pecci sounds like a good fella. Yeah, watching a few highlight reels of him, he looks like an absolutely top-notch young goalkeeper as well. Going to be training with the very best as well in Alisson Becker, Georgia Mamardashvili, and of course Taffarel still at the club in the goalkeeping department. Where are we at with this? Sorry, I'm just running through my notes. So Alisson Becker, I mentioned this in the video earlier on. Alisson Becker was speaking a little bit with Brazil, and I actually got to watch the full extended interview with this. I'd only seen the few paragraphs that were put in the media, but he said, I've 1 year left of my contract and 1 year on a club option, so basically there's 2 years left on it. He said they'll probably, Liverpool, exercise this option. I think about what I have in hand to do a great job. It's a decisive moment in my career when the World Cup is coming. But then he went on to speak about going back to international over in Brazil and wanting to go back to Brazil. And he spoke about some former players going back to Brazil and having a good experience. And he said some have told him they've had a bad experience. But I definitely feel like we won't be seeing a contract extension for Alisson the way things are looking. But I do also think he sees out the time he has left. Right, we're nearly there. We've got 1,915 votes. So we need about 85 more in what has been a really close poll again. The question was, do you think Jarell Quansah will still be here next season? And then we'll move on to the vice captain one. Jodamis the sitter in tonight's game said Keenan, Fabian, James, Doty. I didn't see the extra timer at, mate. I just about caught the first half and a few minutes of it in between the crashed stream and the new stream. Didinho said, not my first joke to go over your head, mate. Oh yeah, you're talking about Joe Pesci and Goodfellas. Sorry, I'm just not zoned in. I'm not zoned in, my man. But yes, good joke. That joke deserved better than I gave it. But yeah, Joe Pesci, Goodfellas. Sorry, mate. Today's just been one of them days, my man. But yes, your joke deserved better than what I gave it. Right, we're nearly there. 3 votes to go. 2 votes to go. We're there. Right, so 51% of you guys that voted think that Quansah won't be here next season. 49% say yes. Right, I did promise a vice captain poll. Right, give us some options for vice captain, because obviously we can only pick 4 here. So who should be the new vice captain? So obviously we will stick Salah's name in there as a certainty, as an option. Robbo, Maka. Right, I've got Salah, Robbo, Maka, Alisson. I need one more name, so let me know what you think. So we've got Maka, Robbo, Salah in there at the minute. So I've got space for one more. I think Alisson has to be the one, surely. Let's try Alisson. Apologies if people disagree with the ones that we've put in. Feel free to throw some suggestions into the chat if you disagree. But we can only fit 4 in it, so. For what it's worth, I'd give it to McAllister. I don't really like people at either end of the pitch being the captain. So I don't like an attacking player and I don't like a goalkeeper being a captain or a vice captain. I prefer someone in central midfield or a centre-back. So for me, I would probably go to McAllister, but look, I've no qualms about Salah getting it, Alisson getting it, Robbo getting it. They're all incredible servants to the football club. Martin Aston said Canade. Well, maybe if you want to use that as a make way, as to show him, yes, we view you as a future leader and, you know, we want to invest in your new contract. Yeah, maybe Canade isn't a bad show. Patrick said Alisson for me. Yeah, look, again, every one of the names we've mentioned here are more than credible shouts for the vice captaincy and, you know, very good servants to the football club. Adam said, I'd love it to be Robbo, but I think it'll be Maka. Craig, what's the score with City and these charges? Oh, Jack, I don't know, mate, but trust me, nobody wants them held to account with those charges more than me, bro. I have been sitting here looking at those greasy gits, let's say, so I don't get in trouble, for too many years now. It's nearly 7 years waiting for this to be sorted out, and it's a piss take. I don't know what else to say. Stephen said, Craig, I'm calling it that Wirtz gets on a plane tomorrow morning. I certainly hope so. I mean, if I don't wake up to see a notification that he's coming for his medical, I'll be very disappointed. Athar said Robbo showed his leadership in that cup game. Oh, mate, he's a leader, absolutely. Sure, he's the Scottish national team captain as well. You know, we're very fortunate we do have some senior leaders in our squad. So, yeah. What do we think, by the way? No, third bid not rejected, Lee. No, it's just sorting out the what do you call them? The add-ons and how easily they're achievable. That's what the delay is at the minute. The outline numbers are agreed on it. It's just those details that apparently are causing a hold-up. I wanted to ask what you think about Arsenal signing Kepa as well, or about to sign Kepa. He has a £5 million clause. And as much as I initially laughed at it, for £5 million to come in as your backup goalkeeper, I mean, It's not the worst shout in the world, is it, for 5 million quid? Yeah. Astonished Bournemouth haven't signed him if it's only going to be 5 million quid. When he signed that new deal with Chelsea to go on loan at Bournemouth, there was a £5 million clause put into his contract. And how have Bournemouth not triggered that clause and brought him in? He loves keepers and CDMs, that Arteta. He does, but for 5 million quid, for what was formerly the world's most expensive goalkeeper, it does seem like worth a punt as a backup of 5 million. I can't lie. Kepa being Spanish, he'll fit right in there with Arteta in the Spanish national team at Arsenal. Second place FC, Alejandro. Second place FC, as they were christened earlier on. Got a lucky LFC jersey with Wirtz. It's on. We like that. Did you put a number on it though, Alex? Brave person if you went for the number, bro. Pete Burns said, congratulations, Portugal. Well done, Ronaldo. Yeah, full congratulations to them, mate. They won the Nations League. And yeah, full congratulations to them on that one. I really didn't see it happening. I thought Spain were going to win that game with the talent they had in attack. But Portugal are a very wily, canny, professional side with, again, some great footballers in there themselves. He can have a disruptive attitude, apparently. Oh, well, I remember the incident with one of the former Chelsea managers, and he refused to come off in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Kepa at one point. Lee Thomas said, I reckon Wirtz will have that 23 jersey. It's certainly possible. He wore 23 in his youth days, I believe. And then, obviously, afterwards, the numbers he's become associated with are 17-10, but... Sorry, thank you. Yes, sorry. Yeah, so certainly must have some type of a, I don't want to say attitude, but I don't know what other word to use. It was 27. Was it? Sorry, I thought it was 23. Yes, I'm getting so confused with the 23s and 27s. I know one of the numbers that we have available was a number that he wore in his youth days. Sorry if it was 27, my apologies. 23 is a great number at Liverpool, though. Certainly a number, if I was signing for Liverpool, I'd be open to taking because of the players who've worn 23 before, like we mentioned, Carragher, Fowler, Shaqiri wore it, Emre Can wore it. I think there's one or two more players wore 23 as well. Liao looks like a headless chicken. No way slot goals from. We're not going from Eddie. 100% can guarantee you that. And Romano said it yesterday as well. I said it to you guys a few days ago that Liverpool, despite the reports, aren't interested and haven't made contact with Liao. And yesterday Romano posted to say there's no concrete conversation or negotiation between Liverpool, AC Milan, or the agent of Rafael Liao. The great Divock Origi wore 27. That's all that matters. Well, that's fair. You know, when you're right, you're right. Apparently, Trent's going to be unveiled on the 11th, by the way. That's what the noises are coming out of Madrid, that his unveiling will be on the 11th. Was Lucho not 23? He was keen, yeah, before he took number 7. I think he only took 7. Was it this season he took 7? But yeah, he was 23 beforehand. Do you think the deal rolls into the next window? No, surely not. And even that, it doesn't matter, because once the contracts are sorted, you know, it's done. You just have to then wait for the window to reopen on the 16th or 17th to put the paperwork through. But at any point, a contract could be signed. When do you think we get the Here We Go? Oh, Keane, I am astonished we haven't got it tonight. I can't lie, I'm astonished. So my best guess would be surely early tomorrow, because the clocks are ticking here and Liverpool want to get it done so he can go off on holidays. What's a Trent? Good shout, mate. I should have just said 66, shouldn't I? This is the most ludicrous thing I've ever seen written. Yamal is as good as Wirtz at half the cost of Wirtz. You do know he's got a €1 billion release clause, Yamal, so I don't know where you're getting half the cost. Do you think that if Lamine Yamal was available for, in your reckoning, what, £60 million, that every football club in Europe wouldn't be putting the 60 million quid down on the table and banging down to get it? You're not getting Yamal. Simple as that. He's not moving. And yeah, he's got that new deal agreed at Barca as well. So there is no half the price. You've just pulled that scenario out your backside. Half the price. Fuck me. I saw today Yamal's market value was 340. I don't think he'll ever leave Barcelona. I think, maybe the late part of his career, but I think he's going to try do Leo Messi-esque numbers and things through his career at Barca. Half the price. I'm still laughing at it. And I don't mean that to sound like a dig at the gentleman that posted it, but I don't understand how anybody could think Yamal's available for 60 million and that everybody wouldn't be moving from. Don't even think Barca would accept any less than the billion for Yamal either. He's incredible. He's just a footballer that makes you smile watching him play. What time tomorrow for the Verts? Here we go, do you reckon? Your guess is as good as mine, because if you would have asked me this morning, I probably would have. If you said to me this morning, here's 100 quid, yes or no, do we get the Here We Go today? I'd have put it on yes. That's how astounded I am at that we haven't got it yet, and these small stupid little details are still floating around. Yeah, so honestly, mate, your guess is as good as mine when we get it at this point, but it can't be far away. Is there still a chance of Bastoni? I don't think there was ever a chance of Bastoni still at Liverpool, to my understanding. I don't think there's ever really been a concrete desire to get Bastoni, because I don't think Bastoni leaves Inter. Now, maybe the situation's changed since Simone Inzaghi has gone over to Saudi, but I'm not aware of any impending move for Bastoni. Who's the most hated player of all time and why? Oh, who's my most? Oh, my most. I've had a few over the years, mate, but I'd have to look at it from Liverpool-centric eyes and probably say El Hadj Diouf. Because he just seemed like a nasty little piece of work, even at the club, talking about Carrot and Gerrard, and yeah, I'm gonna say El Hadj Diouf. There's I could give you a million opposition team players I've disliked. I really dislike Patrice Evra as an example. I'm not really a fan of Bruno Fernandes one bit either. But yeah, I'd probably say El Hadj Diouf would be the one for me. Will I do a video after the live? No, not tonight, because my system messed up earlier on and I had to reschedule and come back on later for a live. So no, there won't be a video coming out this evening, unfortunately. Just time's gotten away from us today. Oh, Bernardo Silva's up there as well. That's a good shout. Yeah, Bernardo Silva's up there. And there's another couple of United players. Who was the United player that what was his name? Spaniard. Played in midfield. Oh God, I can't think now off the top of my head. No, player who was at Ander Herrera. That's the one. Ander Herrera. Yeah, sorry, Connor said it there. Ander Herrera always wound him up. Yeah, Herrera was Juan Mata was lovely. No, I'd never say a negative word about Juan Mata. An absolute gentleman. And an outstanding footballer. But yeah, Ander Herrera was a proper little shithouse. He defo wound me up. Richarlison will be up there as well, although sometimes I appreciate the shithousery and the fact that he gives it and takes it. Diego Costa, yeah. I appreciate the master shithouses, but El Hadj Diouf I think was just had that horrible streak in him that I just didn't like. Funes Mori. Look, mate, we could go through that Everton side and come up with quite a few as well. Did you see Maka was talking about that Tarkowski challenge and said he could have broken his leg twice? and if his leg had been planted, he'd have been in real trouble. And yet that one still wasn't deemed a sending off. So we have the same hated players. Good man. Good man. I like it. Well played. Can't stand Richarlison or the Everton keeper, said Joshua Mark. Yeah, Pickford is... I can't believe the amount of things that he gets away with. You know, I still can't believe that he didn't even get booked for that challenge that did Van Dijk's ACL. Jace Hickman said, apparently Wirtz has called Bayer and expressed his anger that they're holding up the deal. My opinion is they should have bitten our hand off for the 109 as Bayern would only pay 85. So I'm glad you brought that up, mate, because if we go back to the conversations around the time where Bayern Munich thought they were getting him, Bayer Leverkusen were getting really frustrated with the overtures in the media and publicly from Bayern Munich about it. And if I'm not mistaken, now if I am, I apologise, but I have a memory of some pieces being written that suggested that they would take less money from to go outside of the Bundesliga to Liverpool than they would to stay inside with Bayern. I'm almost certain that those pieces were written that said that the number for Bayern was one number and the number for us or outside of the Premier League or of the Bundesliga was a lower number. And now here we are, and it looks like Liverpool are being held to the one or close to the €150 million, €140 million number, which if is the case, and if what our friend there a moment ago, let me just get your name so I can credit you again, mate. Jace, if what Jace Hickman said is true, I don't blame if Wirtz is on the phone saying, the fuck is going on here? Because at this point, it should be done. Like, that's what I mean. It feels really nitpicking at this point in the deal. You're right about that one, Craig, said Suzanne Burke. How are we pronouncing? It's Wirtz, apparently, Athar. So it's like it's Veee or Z. Wirtz is the way I was told to pronounce it anyway. Can't blame Liverpool here. They've been doing everything they can to get it. I agree, Isaiah. I can't really find fault in what we're doing. Because honestly, I think when we started this conversation about signing Florian Wirtz, I expected Liverpool to get this done at about just over £100 million all in. So the fact that we're up at 140 odd million euro now, or 119 million pound, and this hasn't been snapped up by Leverkusen, feels like a bit of clintiness, let me say, so I don't get demonetized. Clintiness is the word I would use. I'll always remember Milan Jovanovic heading the ground and not the ball, against Arsenal in 2010. Rest in peace to Uriah Rennie, great ref, only 65. Very sad to hear of his passing, Doug. And that Milan Jovanovic thing was funny. Don't remind me of those days though, Doug. And love to you and the family. I hope Rebecca and your son are doing well, mate. What day is the medical? The medical was planned in for tomorrow or Tuesday. You know, it takes 2 days. The medical part takes 1 day. So technically, the club can do the paperwork and lodge it after 1 day. It's the media stuff that when people talk about the medical and stuff, there's 2 days. First day, like you seen with the Frimpong video. First day is all the medical tests and stuff like that. Second day, it's more about doing all your media duties, your posts, your unveil video, all that kind of stuff. So Liverpool could have the paperwork in if it was done on Tuesday. That could be by Tuesday night or, before that mini window shuts. Robert said, it's because they know Wirtz doesn't want to join Munich anymore, so we're happy to try and get more money off us. But we could go the other way with that one as well and say, Wirtz could say to them, he has said, I only want Liverpool, make it happen. And again, he can say, well, if you keep me 1 more year, you're going to have an unhappy player and you're going to lose a lot of money on a deal that you would have gotten a lot of money for now. So it feels like it's the Leverkusen side that are playing silly beggars here, but again, we'll just have to wait and see when we get this nod. David said, good to see us moving like a big club again. It's relief, mate. It definitely is. Someone said, I like your tattoos. Thank you, mate. I've had them for a long time. Which one is it for you guys? This one? Yeah, this one is only a half a sleeve. I have a cover up I need to get done here. So that's only half a sleeve. This one here, that's a full sleeve all the way up. But appreciate you, man. These are like 12 years old or something like that. Adrian George said, I'm getting worried with all this messing around with Wirtz. If Wirtz is happy with the deal, then giving Leverkusen what they want, get it sorted. It's not just about giving them what they want as well, though, because like we said, the assumption here was that there was going to be a lower price for a non-Bayern move. And that doesn't seem to be coming to fruition here. But you've nothing to be concerned about it falling apart. But it does feel like Leverkusen are making this unnecessarily frustrating for all concerned. Johnny said, Craig, remember when Balotelli shirt swapped with Pepe at half-time whilst we were 3-0 down to Madrid? Yes. There was a few moments that Mario came up with, like needing to go get a new iPhone and being late for training. Yeah, I remember that one as well, my man, I do. I just got a half sleeve as a scene from Asterix and Obelix comic. Oh, mate, that's awesome. That's awesome. I went to Park Asterix when we were over in France a few years ago. Had a great time, but that is a cool tattoo to get. My wife has a sleeve full of cartoon characters like Cartman, Ren and Stimpy, Elmo, and lots of others on her arm, which is cool. But that sounds like a really good one, man. I'd love to see a picture of that. If you could email it to me, that would be great. Yeah, that sounds like a very interesting tattoo. Am I the only one who thinks 120 million is too much? It's certainly on the high side of it, yeah. Again, when it was announced that he'd chosen us, if you asked me to predict a number then, I probably would have said £100 million all in, including the add-ons. It does feel, I won't lie, it does feel like maybe the price is a smidge high, but again, we are talking about a player here that could potentially go on to win a Balon d'Or. So, Leverkusen are playing hard ball here, and as a fan, obviously, I want Liverpool to get players in as cheap as we can. IFI Must said Leverkusen shithousery by saying one price. Now that Liverpool are deep into proceedings, Leverkusen have Liverpool bent over. Not necessarily, because again, same applies to them. What is 100 and let's say £19 million now, or 140 million euro, they won't get that next year if he runs his deal down. They'll probably get half of that. So they're playing a dangerous game for themselves as well. And also, they're already out there shopping for replacements. You would think 113 million would be enough, wouldn't you? It certainly should be. Yes. It's a more than good offer from Liverpool, definitely. Do we call their bluff and threaten to pull out? No, because as I've mentioned, what's astonishing me most about this is what is causing the delay, which is these silly little add-ons and how those add-ons are triggered. We're not talking about the two clubs being way apart on a number right in here. That's not the case. We're talking about how these add-ons are achieved and how they're triggered being the delay. So the number agreement is there. It's just a matter of those details, and that's why I'm so astonished that we're still sitting here talking about it. Craig, mate, I thought you said the medical was tomorrow. Never said that once. I said the medical was booked. And I told you I didn't know when the medical was booked for. But again, never once said the medical was tomorrow. I don't mind being held to account for what I say when I've said it. But I never said the medical was tomorrow. If you watch, I always said I don't know when the medical is. But the medical is booked. Players are worth what the club who holds the contract think they're worth. No, absolutely the opposite. Players are worth what somebody's willing to pay for them. As an example, Jack Grealish was only worth £100 million to Manchester City because nobody else on earth would have been stupid enough to pay £100 million for Jack Grealish. So it's whatever a buying club are willing to pay. That's the price of a player, mate. Pete said, love the channel, Craig. Keep up the great work. I'm just anxious like a lot of people because of last minute deals falling through. I get it. Totally understand, mate. I've got the same PTSD from Caicedo, from Zubamendi, from Lavia. I get it. I'm equally as scarred from those. And if I hadn't such vociferous, what's the phrase I'm looking for here? Multiple communication saying this deal is not falling apart. He is coming to Liverpool from so many different credible people. I wouldn't feel as confident as I do right now. But it doesn't take away from the frustration waiting for it to happen. Is Darwin staying? Truth is, mate, I don't think anybody knows, Fortnite God, at this particular moment exactly what's happening there. It does look like we're running out of potential sale options unless somebody... I feel like we're getting Liverpool here, if that makes any sense. I think somebody else now is looking and thinking Liverpool at one point will get desperate. And I wonder if people who are out there in the market now are looking at us and thinking, well, Darwin could be one of these opportunistic signings that can be gotten for... I wouldn't be surprised if you see an Italian club come in with a shithouse low price at this point. But again, I don't know. I'm guessing. But certainly feels like, even if you're looking at the odds we talked about earlier on, it feels like the avenues of a Darwin exit are drying up a bit. Were we ever linked to Nuno Mendes? Not sure. Not sure, mate. Aspas corner versus Chelsea, worse than Jovanovic. That's the thing he's most famous for in his whole Liverpool career. Isn't that a mad one, Zidinho? Italian clubs are all skint. I know, that's what I'm talking about, a shithouse low deal. Like, Napoli have a bit of money, to be fair. They still have that Kavisha Kvaratskhelia money. But yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like we're going to end up somebody making an offer to loan them for a year with a potential to buy at the end of it. And Liverpool will then say that they want the guarantee to buy. That's my guess at this, and it is a guess. Lewis Noble said, I get more from your videos than I do therapy. Do you know what? I'd probably say the same for me. I've gotten great help in therapy from my psychologist over the years, but this channel is better for me, for my mental health probably, than anything. Jay said, Craig, I've heard chatter from in the club that we're still after a DM and a striker. Seeing us go after Ramos and a DM from Italy. There's been some talk of Gonçalo Ramos, the PSG striker, previously. I think it was Sam Maguire maybe who mentioned that on Anfield Watch. I haven't got a clue. Common sense would say we'd be in for a centre-back and a striker, all right, but I don't have that on that. Right, I need a quick favour. We're nearly up to 1,000 likes. We're at 783. We're going to finish up at 11:30. So if you can hit that like button and get us up to 1,000, that would be really, really appreciated. How much do Liverpool set for Wirtz bio clause? We don't usually put bio clauses into a contract, mate, so I wouldn't expect a bio clause to be in the contract. Usually Liverpool do their best to stay clear of them. The Diaz or the Suarez situation was one that I don't know the full details of, that 40 million clause that was supposed to be in there, but we weren't having it when Arsenal bid it. So yeah, we're not. Yeah. Oh, fuck off, Alex. You want to like, but you never read my comments, dude. Do you know how many comments come through on a stream, bro? Like, there is 3,000 people in there commenting, and you think I can sit here and read out every single comment? It's not humanly possible. And in defense of myself, I would say I'm probably one of the more interactive YouTubers when it comes to reading out comments, but I'm not putting up with your childish bullshit, mate. Just fuck off, quite simply. I don't know what else to say to you. The entitlement is nuts. I could be one of those YouTubers who only reads super chats and doesn't pay any attention to the chat, or I only read members' comments, or I could put the chat on member only. But I try to be open and available to everyone. But if I've missed some of your comments, sorry. Realistically, should Ballon d'Or go to somebody like João Neves, Vitinha from PSG? They've won 4 trophies this season, so it would make sense. Certainly, they've had an incredible season, and usually you would think you give a nod to a player who's won a Champions League, and then some of them Portuguese players that you've mentioned have now gone and won a Nations League, and won the league title with France, and won the cup with France. But it just feels like a weird year where there isn't one outstanding candidate for the Ballon d'Or, if you get me. So, and I felt like that a little bit last year as well. I know Vinicius Jr. was touted far and wide, but I thought Rodri was a more deserving winner personally. But yeah, they've had an incredible season, PSG, and played really good football. Right, we have... Oh my goodness, this poll has flown along. So we asked you who should be the new vice captain, and we're only 47 likes away from 1,000, by the way, and I promise I'll read out a comment then. So who should be the new vice captain? It's pretty wide. I think we can pretty much call this one because, well, we get to 2,500 votes. We've got a runaway. Oh no, actually, it's close. There's 2% between two people. Sorry, I missed out on somebody there. Yeah, do keep voting. Maybe you can change it with the last 100 or so, but it's a 2-horse race in the vice captain poll. Put it that way. Paul White said, "Well done, Jota, on another trophy." Craig, I'm behind. Mind catching me up. So Coleman, where can I catch you up on? We're still awaiting for the nod that Wirtz is going for his medical. The delay for Kerkez, I don't know what it is, but there is a delay. We also know that he left the Hungarian national team camp for what was deemed personal reasons. Some people are guessing that the delay is because Bournemouth sporting director is playing in some football tournament over in America. I truly don't know what's causing the delay, but it does seem like there is a bit of a delay there at the minute. Other things that I can fill you in on, the options for Darwin Nunez look to be slim at this juncture. There's not too many clubs beating our door down. No news yet, actually, on where Costas may go, and I do find that one strange. I would have thought maybe we hear that. By the way, Brighton are trying to get a deal for some Olympiacos kid who's 18, and it would be a record signing for a Greek player. So, if they're going after this kid and they're bidding, I think 36, 38 million, watch him be the next star now in the Premier League. I don't know his name off the top of my head. Can I say happy birthday, Hamza? Of course, Hamza. Happy birthday, bro. I hope you have a wonderful day. And thank you for being in. Thought Costas was going to Leeds. They've certainly been linked, Phil. Yeah, they've certainly been linked with Costas. They are one of the clubs that have been linked, but I've not heard or seen much new on a potential destination from. I love that people are wishing you a happy birthday in the chat as well. This is why they're just such a great community. 6:28 in the USA. Late night agendas work well for me. We love that, Oliver. And welcome in, my friend. Look at that. More happy birthdays coming in. You guys are class. Absolute class acts. Fair play. Right, we've passed 2,500 votes. So, 39% of the vote, and the winner for the vice captaincy poll was Mohamed Salah. In second place, with what they class as 35, but it was 36 before YouTube robbed the percent, was Alexis McAllister, Alisson Becker in third, and Andy Robertson in fourth. So, happy birthday, Craig. Didn't know it was your birthday. It's not my birthday. It was somebody in the chat's birthday, mate. Not my birthday. My birthday's in September. I wish it was my birthday. Yeah. Well, actually, I don't, because that would mean I'm getting older again. So, yeah. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we will say goodnight for now. And of course, we'll see you tomorrow at some point. And hopefully, we've got the man on the plane having his medical at that point. So, again, apologies for the technical mess up earlier on. Took me a few minutes to figure out what it was and get to the bottom of it. But it looks like it's been resolved because the rest of the stream tonight has gone well. And yeah, much love to you all. Hopefully, see you here tomorrow where we can talk about some good news. Hopefully, yeah. Much love. Appreciate you all. Good night. Bye-bye.